Thank you for tuning into this episode of Love Amanda. My next guest represented Team USA at the 2026 Olympics. Let's welcome Mystique Ro to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Congratulations on making it to the Olympics. That is incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
So did you go to school in Charlotte?
I did. I attended Queen's University of Charlotte.
Wonderful. So not too far away. We're here in Columbia, South Carolina right now. So how did you know you went to school for track and field? Is that correct?
I did.
Wonderful. So when did you know that you wanted to transition to skeleton, and how did that work?
I actually was doing track as a multi, the heptathlon, for my entire career at Queen's, for the full 4 years, but I had a semester left of school, but my eligibility was done. So I was going to actually compete unattached when Alana Myers-Taylor, which is one of our bobsled pilots, reached out to my coach, was in like a general email saying, hey, we're looking for brakemen. Do you have anyone that's eligible? And he looked at me and my teammate, and Nikki Squire, who's actually from Columbia, South Carolina, and was like, y'all want to go? And I'm like, sure, why not? But we went for bobsled, and so we did the combine. We did well enough to get invited to Lake Placid. But then they saw me and they said I was kind of small, so I should go to skeleton. And originally I was very hesitant because skeleton is the crazy cousin sport of bobsled, and I was like, I don't want to do that. But it eventually grew on me, but it took some time for sure.
Skeleton is absolutely crazy. Okay, so it's technically bobsledding, but you're going head first. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's a single rider. You're relying on our stomach. We're going head first. It was actually one of the origins of sliding sports. So Cresta was the first, and skeleton, and then bobsled. They just started adding more bodies to the sled, and it's going a lot faster. So it's quite the evolution of sliding sports for sure.
How did track and field help you with that?
So a lot of the general fitness athletics comes from track and field. Honestly, the coordination. I was a hurdler. I jumped, so I take a lot of that approach when I go to the track. When I'm doing the push component, which is the first 30 meters or so before I load onto the sled. Hurdling is already in an awkward position when you're taking flight on over the hurdle, so it kind of just was an easy switch over to skeleton. But generally speaking, it's just the general athleticism was crucial.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you mentally prepare for something like going 80 to 90 miles per hour? How do you prepare for something like that?
It varies for sure. There's some tracks I'm a little bit more confident on, like my home tracks, like Placid, Park City, Lillehammer. And so I can kind of, I don't say autopilot, but I can kind of just be a little more fluid and be a little more detailed and technical. But if I'm going to a track I'm a little bit more on edge about, I'm definitely laser focused on certain components to help build speed down the track, but also the tricky tracks that you can flip, you want to make sure you're kind of micromanaging those scenarios so that it gets more comfortable. And I think a lot of times people wonder, like, do you guys listen to music? Do you guys get amped up? I'm like, well, skeleton, we can't get amped up like our bobsled teammates, because our body is the sled. Any type of input or movement in the muscles, twitching, flinching, is a steer. So I'm very calm, and I present very calm, but if I'm not having good training, I could be terrified, but you wouldn't know because I'm pretty chill. But there are some tracks I'm at the starting line, I'm crying, but you can't see because I'm wearing a helmet.
Wow. Yeah, and those helmets are crazy looking, actually.
Oh, yeah.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would only imagine you have to get into some sort of a zone right beforehand to just calm down. So you must be able to deal with fear very well.
It depends on what it is. As I mentioned, I'm not a big roller coaster fan. I don't like speeding on the highway, but I have no problem throwing myself off a mountain head first. Yeah, it's I call it my me time. That's where I get to be by myself for a minute. No one's bothering me. It's just me and the sled and 80 plus miles an hour.
Wow. So you're scared of roller coasters, but totally fine with that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. There's zero logic, but it just works for me somehow.
Actually, it does make sense because you're in control.
That's true.
So on a roller coaster, you're not in control. So I'm the same way. It's weird. I think when I fly, if I close my eyes, I won't be in control or something like that. I probably have a control issue too. Now you're from a big family, right?
I am. Yeah.
So do you have 10 siblings?
I do. I have 8 brothers and 2 sisters.
And are you a twin?
I am a twin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fraternal.
I did.
Yeah.
You said it fraternal?
Fraternal, we're almost the same height. I'm half an inch taller, so that was our differential. But I would say we don't look very similar, hence fraternal, but we might pass off as cousins. And then obviously as we evolved in growing up, I've done more sports. We look a little different. I have a little more sun exposure than she does.
Now, coming from a big family, do you feel that it helped that competitive mindset?
Competitive in a roundabout way. Being in the oldest of 9 of the 11, we have, quite a lot of personality. So it's a lot of managerial tasks. So typical eldest daughter situation. And in that case, a lot of nurturing, a lot of like mothering. So in that regard, I'm trying to make sure my team has what they need or at least facilitate some support in that way. In that regard, like we can move more as a unit and be more productive. So we're trying to be more competitive in that way. But definitely the older sister kicks in for sure.
Yeah, I'm the oldest too, and I've always had that mothering nature as well, which is really beautiful. You spend months training. You're training right now, correct?
Yes, I actually thought I had a break, but we have a competition coming up, so I have to get back in the gym.
Oh, wow. And how long does training usually last?
So it's similar to track, but a little different in the sense of the modality of training. So we have like 2 days, generally speaking. So you have your sprint or push session, and then you have like a lifting session. But because of the CNS fatigue and the neurological like demand, recovery is so important. So that's our third, and that's like spending time in sports med or doing yoga or something like that, because it's just really, it binds you up pretty good and you get really tight. So it's really important for us to really double down on recovery with sliding.
Right. And with all your training, it must be hard to make relationships with people. Is that true? Do you find that?
Yeah, you're kind of married to the sport. You're gone for so long, and you don't have any money, so you're not taking anyone out on dates, and you're just, I'll see you when I see you, I guess.
Yeah, even friendships, I could imagine as well, just because you're always traveling. So, what has that been like? Do you miss having a partner maybe traveling with you, or are you just so much in this mindset right now, you're not even thinking about it?
I think so I've been doing this, I just finished my 9th season, and like, I think the first 5 years or so, maybe 6, like you're so in the trenches because you're trying to figure out, how do you point the sled straight? What are you doing? How do you get from point A to point B? How do you fly with the sled? So you're really not thinking about anything because it's just survival mode. And then once I got into World Cup and things were kind of, I'd done the groundwork to be able to, have a decent experience sliding, then it's like, well, dang, it'd be nice if, had someone to hang out with when I'm not sliding, or, even if they come out on tour or something like that. But it's one of those things that you don't really realize you're missing it until things start to stop being survival mode. You kind of step back and it's like, oh, wow, this is kind of an important piece that's missing. So it's definitely more prevalent now, more noticeable, especially coming after the games and kind of everything kind of lulls out. So it's like, that'd be nice.
Yeah. But then again, you just knew you had a competition coming up, so you're training again. And so, yeah, if you did meet anyone, listen, I mean, absence does make the heart grow fonder, they say. Do you look for adventure in a relationship or someone more that balances you out?
I think before skeleton, I think the adventure was pretty, it was something that I was definitely interested in. Like I was doing track and field, like I was living in a small town, so going out would have been great. Let's go to Paris, let's go to, Germany and go explore some historical sites. But I travel a lot now, and I spend so much time in Europe. There's so much in the US I've wanted to see. So I think there's an element of like a different type of travel. It's not so much as like to see so many like things. I guess it's my perception of travel is different because I have so much luggage. Like we travel with almost a ton of luggage, and it's like I just want to have a bag and go. So like I think the balancing out would be helpful, but like fun trips, like things that like in the summertime or things that I normally wouldn't be doing on my own because I want someone to plan for me. I don't want to do any planning. Someone's gonna
Okay.
handle that for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you do enough planning with your schedule.
Yeah. I need a break.
Yeah, I bet I could see, being from a small town and then seeing these beautiful sites where you're going, thinking, oh, I'd love to share this with someone. And yeah, I know that'll happen for you, but you need to slow down first a little bit.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Coming out of the Olympics, what has this newfound fame and just this new world been like for you?
It's been interesting. Like I keep doing the same thing I've been doing. I go to the grocery store. I go down to visit my mom in Delaware, and now people recognize me. And more often than not, like, and it's kind of funny because it's like partially safety, partially just head on soul. But like, if someone's like, "Hey," and I'm like, I'm not gonna turn because there's too many shows I've watched where I don't want to do that. But then they're like, "Oh, we saw you on TV." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So this is a safe conversation. So it's like letting the guard down because normally just before I was like not a nobody, but no one really knew about me. And now like you've been on TV for 2 weeks and everyone's like, "Oh my God, we saw you on TV." It was like, you're awesome. So it's been fun to just to see like how quickly, like little TV time goes a long way and people are just really excited and just the outreach has been great via social media. There's been so much support. People who never knew skeleton are like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm supporting you. And I'm like, that's great. And then they do a little deep dive, like, oh my gosh, you throw yourself down a mountain. I'm like, yeah, I have a helmet. That's it. So it's just the educational piece has been so fun, just to kind of telling people what I do and explaining it and kind of make it more relatable to them.
Have you been back to your hometown since being in the Olympics?
I haven't been back to Nokesville. I just got back from visiting my mom down in Delaware, and they had a watch party, which was really cool. And so that was fun, and they were just crazed. And cause I went down to see my mom, and they're just like they're applauding, they're like just everything. I was like, oh, this is so nice. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
So, but no, it's been cool. I'm trying to plan a trip back to Virginia at some point in the next month or so. But yeah, for now, it's just been like hitting up one location after another. Like I'm back in Lake Placid where I train, and they're gonna do something in the month just to kind of recognize the hometown Olympians.
Wow, how wonderful. That's going to be such a great feeling. I can only picture it. What was your favorite part about being in Milan? Did you get to explore?
No, not necessarily. So the sliding community, we got to go to Cortina early. So it was part of our World Cup circuit in November, and driving in was interesting. I've never been to Italy, so the embrace like getting to witness the culture firsthand. Like they have their one to 3:30, everything's closed, so you have to time everything when you're trying to go get groceries or you want something done. And the way of life is a little bit savory. That's the best way I could put it. It's a little slower, so you have to kind of slow down a little bit. So I think it was helpful because like everyone's like stressed, like the Olympic season, you have to go, go, go. But whether you like it or not, you're going to slow down in Italy, And so that was interesting. But just seeing the Dolomites as we're driving through is just it's so different because we spent so much time in like the Alps, the Swiss Alps, and a couple years ago we saw the French Alps, but the Dolomites are very different. So I like museums and like nature stuff, so that was really cool for me. And then obviously like the architecture of the older buildings is really awesome, but just the scenery was amazing.
Wow. And now, while you were obviously competing, you probably didn't notice everything going on TV as far as coverage. But when you were done, did you notice all the coverage going on about you? Was that shocking? Did you not realize how many, pictures or videos were going to be surfacing of you? Or are you aware of it in that moment?
No, we're kind of in our own little bubble, honestly. Yeah. And we're just like, it's so crazy. You spend all this time training and then like each run is about around a minute. So like you're so laser focused in those 4 minutes of your runs. And then when you come out, it's kind of like you kind of just coming out into like big traffic pattern. Like there's so much like attention and focus and like just social media, because we kind of take a step back so we can focus and then come back and it's just you get flooded. And it's an amazing feeling because so many people were like cheering for you and like rooting from across the world or in the stands, and people who don't know you or didn't know you before are screaming your name. And it's like, I don't know what you just said. I don't know what language you're speaking, but thank you. And it's just such a cool feeling because everyone is just so like wrapped up in the Olympic spirit.
Mm-hmm. What type of personal goals do you have for this year?
I am definitely trying to be a little bit more productive in the sense of like, how do we plan better for the quad? So next quad is going into 2030, which is Unplanned. So as soon as I say, and it sounds, you want to take time to take a break, I get that. But like when I came off the mixed relay, it's like, okay, next quad starts now. And so it's more of, right now we're kind of in the brainstorming, like what did we miss? What do we need to work on? What do we need to functionally do? But with that, it's like like we mentioned, like there's a balance. So like, how do we know when to turn like clock out, mentally? When do we step back and be able to veg out, watch some Netflix, or go do something, do a puzzle, or build relationships with people and talk to your old friends that you haven't spoken to in a while. And because I think my first few years in the sport, it was just so much of build that all that stuff kind of got pushed away. And so now I'm in a position where I'm pretty comfortable in my knowledge of sliding, that I can afford to go explore these other relationships that I've kind of set aside for a little while. But I think just trying to figure out the balance of everything, but also move forward, because we have a lot left in the tank, I think, for performance.
And what about professionally? Are you already thinking about the next Olympics, or is that not on your mind yet?
Oh no, we're thinking about it. Like technology is such a huge piece of our existence in the sliding world, and so trying to figure out how to do testing or find out how to expand our team as far as like resources and equipment. And I'm not a mechanic of any kind. I'm a comm major. I don't know anything about mechanical engineering, none of that stuff. So I'm going to have to rely on our team nerds to handle that one. But how do I source these things? How do I, plan the logistics into next season? Because we don't get our schedule until July. But fundraising up to that point is really important, because every year, it starts to add up, and the Olympic year is going to be very expensive. So the marketing is really important right now. So I'll probably take the month of April to kind of chill. So right now I'm still kind of in season, but once April ends, it will be kind of go time back into training full time.
And do you know where the next Olympics is already?
It is in France.
France.
So French Alps, yes.
Wonderful. Oh, that's going to be wonderful. So I'm looking forward for you to have that time in April to chill. No one bother Mystique in April, okay? She's busy.
Yeah. Please and thank you.
Do you have anything else coming up that you're excited about?
Actually, I'm going to date myself. So I graduated Queens back in 2016. But I didn't get to walk because I was doing skeleton. And so I wanted to try to go back to campus and at least take some photos, mock up the graduation thing. So I'm going to see my mom will come out, but that's kind of like my little, yay, 10-year mark. We graduated from college, and just kind of celebrate that. And then, it's been actually, we have a lot going on. I think there's supposed to be the White House visit, logistics on that. And then we have Flavor Flav invited women's hockey and the Olympians, Paralympians to go to Las Vegas in July. And then he also invited us he's on tour in the summer. So he's like, come out and we'll party. I was like, I guess you're partying with Flavor Flav. So it's an interesting summer. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff.
You're going to be partying with Flavor Flav. Okay. Yeah, what time is it?
It's July. It's actually going to be my birthday during the time period. So I will be in Las Vegas for my birthday.
Wow, so that is amazing.
July 16 to 19, I think. And yeah, so my birthday's on the 18th, so I will be out there celebrating.
So that is going to be a great partying with Flavor Flav, okay, and the hockey team. I can't wait to see the videos. You better be posting on your stories, okay?
I'll be doing all kinds of stuff. That's my one time a year. I give myself once a year to kind of celebrate, drink a little bit, so that'll be my one time a year. And then I gotta go back to training.
Wow. So yeah, get it all out, right? How fun. Thank you so much for this time. I really appreciate it. I know you're so busy in the middle of training, so I really, really appreciate it. Please let everyone know where to connect with you and how they can find you on social media and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I thank you for having me. This was fun. If you guys are on socials, I am on Instagram, TikTok. It's at Mystique Ro.
Easy enough. Well, I have to say, you are such a champ. Thank you again for coming on. I'm going to be always supporting you. So good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning into this episode of Love Amanda. You can listen on all audio platforms and watch full episodes on YouTube. Thank you for watching Love Amanda.